It's day 702. I'm dressed clean. I'm on my way to the NFU conference. I'm just going to go and get a clean hat because the hat I've been wearing for the last few weeks is quite dirty. And it's a bit breezy and chilly, and being on a train going can also be breezy and chilly. So, well, hopefully not on the train. So I'm going to stick a hat on. I'm just going to get a clean one out of the office. You know, last night the lads took the tractors to the DYNO night. So they got me some videos. So here's some of the videos. Keep your eye out for the big Xerion. Well, I asked you last night, do you think they'd fit? They do fit. Got the case and the MB track on one low loader, and it looks cool. Will be when I get that panel for it. So they're on the way to the DYNO meet tonight. I'm obviously now at the NFU conference. This is what happened last night. Just quickly, I think I better explain. So a dynameter is what you put on the back of a tractor on a PTO, then you rev the engine and then you put it under load, the tractor, and then it digs in and it sort of tells you what the horsepower is of the tractor. So Rob put his Maxim on, we put the MB track on, and then they put the 7710 on as well. So there's just a couple of videos here, but guess what you think the horsepower was of the Maxim, the MB track, and the 7710? There they are, back from the DYNO night. I was actually back from my talk before them. 724 Maxim and MB track. Look where the 7710 is. Where are we going? Where are we going? There's high-vis Liz, it's a leopard print Liz there. So I'm obviously at the conference in Birmingham. I'm just going to get changed now and then we're going to go for an evening meal tonight at the conference. But today I got the opportunity to ask George EUSTICE about fertiliser, specifically access to it, because we've obviously got massive inflation on the prices, and then we've also got no access to ammonium nitrate because they basically stopped making it in the UK. So here's me asking him the question and him squirming a bit and not really answering the question.
Please.
I spoke to you at the Fringe event in Manchester about fertiliser because it was at the time the urea plants was, the urea was under threat. Since then now we've got no access hardly to any AN, and without chemical fertilisers we're talking of a 60% reduction in yields, which isn't obviously good for food security. With all now what's been happening in the Ukraine and Russia, have DEFRA or you got a plan for fertiliser security?
We've been looking at this. Obviously, we do have one significant fertiliser manufacturing plant in the UK, but they had suspended production recently and are currently operating not at full tilt, and that's obviously got consequences for our carbon dioxide supplies as well. But yes, the short answer is the availability of ammonium nitrate in particular is very closely linked to gas prices, and the price of ammonium nitrate is always going to have that close link to gas prices. Longer term, and this links to our future agriculture policy, I think that this spike in fertiliser prices will cause more farmers to think carefully about where they get their fertilisers from. We could see more people looking at different technologies to use organic fertilisers, farmyard manures, maybe
all the things that farming rules for water ban.
Well, no, they are sometimes used in the wrong place, there's also growing use of crops like Phacelia, green fertilisers, and in some of our grasslands, clover mixes and so on coming back into fashion. So I think we will see more people going in that direction. But I'm also aware that we've been working closely with the industry on urea in particular. And there's some quite interesting proposals about how we might find a middle way through there that helps us deliver some of our air quality objectives while also enabling urea to continue to be used.
Yeah, we've got a 300% increase though with inputs of fertiliser, 200% increase. You know, it needs a little bit more than the fairy tale of, oh, it's all right, we'll use more cow muck or we'll use more. It's not there, it's not getting wasted, it's just simply not available.
Look, I've acknowledged there's a global market in gas. As we pass peak oil and gas prices rise, these sorts of problems are going to be more of an issue, and that's why we do have to look at alternatives to products that are ultimately derived from gas.
But the important point that you make, and Emma Howard-Boyd will be speaking here tomorrow, when we look at the RPS on farming rules for water, and effectively the banning of spreading all the things that you were talking about, which is in total conflict with the SFI in the autumn, when surely that is the time to be spreading onto mulch in the early autumn, digestate onto a growing crop. Why wouldn't we, rather than on bare ground in February? And this is where I think a lot of the frustration in this room will be felt, with the join up of the policy to lead to this optimisation of agriculture that we all want to see, effectively the detail in the scheme.
Well, look, we've already...
I hope you grasp that then. It's very difficult to film in a conference because you don't know what the speaker's going to say. That worked really well because I asked him the question. So Liz recorded it for me. Hi, Viz Liz, or Leopard Print Liz today. But you just never know. You can't film the whole thing, 10 hours of it, because you might only end up with like a few little bits. But one of the sort of the main take-home messages today was that, we've had 3-digit inflation. So 3 digits. So in other words, 200% fertiliser's gone up and some other inputs. So that was one of the things that we learned today. Anyway, a little bit more of it tomorrow. Rob's been fixing the fast track today, so he's put the part on that I picked up yesterday. So this is it. Sorry, today's just a little bit of a mashup of what was happening last night, which I couldn't film myself because I was doing the talk, and then also today I've been at a conference. But I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless, and the birthday bumper is huge, so it's going to be the outro. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.